Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is John and this is your Modern Tech Breakdown. Today I'm taking a look at the news that Microsoft is giving up its OpenAI board seat. But this news raises another question. Does Microsoft own OpenAI? Just what is going on here? Let's jump into it. All right, first up, let's talk about today's news that triggered this question for me. Here you can see that Trip Mickle from the New York Times is reporting that Microsoft has given up its seat on OpenAI's board, relinquishing a non-voting position it gained late last year as regulators intensified their scrutiny of the ties between the tech giant and the startup behind the chatbot ChatGPT. Okay, so Microsoft is giving up a non-voting board seat due to regulatory pressure. This raised an immediate question for me. Doesn't Microsoft own part of OpenAI? Isn't it strange to give up a board seat on a company that you own? Let's dig into that. Does Microsoft own any portion of OpenAI? Well, here's a short article that quotes Microsoft spokesman Frank Shaw as saying, quote, "While details of our agreement remain confidential, it's important to note that Microsoft does not own any portion of OpenAI and is simply entitled to share of profit distributions," said company spokesman Frank Shaw. Does not own any portion of OpenAI. Right. Well, let's try to square that with this reporting from the New York Times in November of 2023. Here at the very bottom of the article, the Times reports, Microsoft had spent months negotiating a $10 billion investment that closed in January and worked to keep its ownership stake just under 50%. Among other things, it worried that having majority control would expose it to antitrust scrutiny, according to three people familiar with the deal, and Mr. Nadella avoided meddling in OpenAI's management. Okay, so clearly Microsoft does have a large interest in OpenAI. It seems that Microsoft is very motivated to stay close to OpenAI and benefit from its IP, but it's very nervous about how such a relationship would look to regulators. And to put a bow on the situation, after some searching, I did find a Bloomberg Law article that talks about the intricacies of how Microsoft and OpenAI legal teams structured their deal. When Microsoft negotiated an additional $10 billion investment in OpenAI in January, it opted for an unusual arrangement for people familiar with the matter said at the time. Rather than buy a chunk of the cutting-edge artificial intelligence lab, it cut a deal to receive almost half of OpenAI's financial returns until the investment is repaid up to a predetermined cap, one of the people said. The unorthodox structure was concocted because OpenAI is a capped for-profit company housed inside a non-profit organization. So OpenAI is a capped for-profit company that is owned by a non-profit. Right, okay. So this is really something. You'll remember that OpenAI was started in 2015, and as its name, OpenAI, suggests, it was originally a non-profit. Over time, as the potential for the technology grew, the legal structure has evolved to this unorthodox arrangement. At some point, this nonprofit situation will probably have to be reckoned with in some manner. All right, if we keep reading this Bloomberg Law article, we can go full circle and learn exactly how Microsoft got the non-voting board seat that they just relinquished. Quote, Microsoft executives debated the wisdom of taking a seat on the OpenAI board, people familiar with the matter said at the time. On the one hand, executives feared that a board seat or observer slot might draw the attention of regulators. On the other hand, Microsoft wanted to keep a closer eye on its partner and protect its investment, an imperative that carried the day despite the risks. So now we've come full circle. So despite what Microsoft's very questionable PR has put out, Microsoft does seem to own 49% of OpenAI, albeit through a very unorthodox arrangement. It would seem that Microsoft and OpenAI went to great lengths to structure a deal that would help Microsoft avoid regulator scrutiny. That structure included a non-voting board seat that seemingly due to regulatory scrutiny, Microsoft has now given up. Wow, what a mess. I hope that helps interested folks understand the odd legal situation between Microsoft and OpenAI. I know I learned a lot researching this topic, and if you followed along the journey, thanks for watching. And as always, please comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.